How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Tressa's Collectibles channel. I'm Randall, aka Shizakats, and today we're going to be bringing you our latest opening for the Shakugan no Shana Premium Booster. So this is going to be a pretty interesting product to open in the English side of things, considering that Shakugan no Shana is a set that has been released a long time ago in Japanese. The original Shana boosters came out in 2011, over a decade ago, and the extra booster came out a year and a half later in late 2012. So this is going to be the latest installment, Shakugan no Shana Premium Booster, which is basically going to be bringing back a bunch of those old cards from the original Shakugan no Shana boosters and giving them some brand new effects, as well as introducing some new cards to the mix. Now, obviously, on the English side, we didn't have any of those old boosters, so these are going to be brand new, and essentially, English players are going to have to play this as a standalone product, at least until the Dengeki Bunko boosters come out later this year, which will have some boosts that you can add along to your Shana deck. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the IP, which I would not be surprised, as Shakugan no Shana is a pretty old anime. Shana is a show that came out in 2005, and the premise of the show is there's like a parallel world alongside the human world where the Crimson Lords reside, and the Crimson Lords have there are basically like two sides to the Crimson Lords. There are the denizens that want to steal the life force of all the humans, and then there are the Flame Hazes, which Shana is one of, and the Flame Hazes are basically contracted to Crimson Lords to stop the denizens from doing their evil things. And so Shana is one of the Flame Hazes in the show, and she fights with her katana to slay evil demons and things like that. Now, the main male character of the show is a character named Yuji. Yuji is a category of being called a torch, which I guess the short version of explaining what a torch is they're basically a human who is already having their life force stolen, and they're basically like omae wa mo shinderu, it's only a matter of time until they just fade away out of existence. And so at the very beginning of the show, Shana finds Yuji and tells him that he's a torch, but it turns out that he is actually unique compared to other torches, and he has some unique abilities. And so for that reason, he is able to team up with Shana in their quest to defeat the denizens and find out what exactly is so unique about him. So anyways, back to the product itself. So as it is a premium booster, there are going to be significantly less packs per box. It's only going to be 6 packs with 3 cards apiece. But as with premium boosters, you are going to be guaranteed one of those special rarity cards in each one of your packs. And I think in the Shana extra booster, they're just called a Shana Parallel SHP. And they have a red foil design, so around the level and the cost and the name and things like that. They're going to be red foiling compared to the gold foiling that I'm sure a lot of you are used to. As far as the high rarity ratios, you're going to be looking at 3 SPs expected per sealed case of 30 premium booster displays. And today we're going to be opening 3 displays for you guys, and so hopefully we can pull something cool out of these. So let's go ahead and crack these open and get started. Let's get started with box number 1. So this is a 60 card set, and if we just do the math, that means a playset is 240 cards. And within a single case of Shakugan no Shana, you are going to be getting 540 cards, 360 of which will be non-foil, and 180 of which will be foil. And so, again, if we do the math, this means that you will be getting roughly 1.5 playsets non-foil per sealed case, and you will be getting roughly 3/4 of a foil playset per case. And that does mean that filling out playsets with just a single case is going to be a bit awkward unless you mix rarities. But one sealed case should be able to get you 2 playsets as long as you mix the rarities up. All right, let's go ahead and get right into our first pack. So a lot of these cards are going to be renames of old Shana cards that never made it into English because they're, you know, from like a decade ago. So I won't touch too much on those, but there are 1 or 2 cards in particular that actually just got reprinted as is within this set. And so we'll go ahead and... Oh! Speaking of which, we got probably the most infamous card for Shakugan no Shana. This is the one that really allows it to go on the map in today's competitive landscape, and this is the Peculiar Torch Yuji. So his first effect is one of the most impactful effects in the game, where it stops your opponent from using auto effects to deal damage to you. So this stops your opponent from doing any burns through auto effects, which is like 99% of burn effects in the game. Additionally, he has an assist effect that says all of your level 2 or higher in front of him get plus 1000 power. This is a very, very old style of assist effect that really does not get printed anymore. And instead, a lot of sets these days just get like the plus 2k to level 3 and higher in front of this profile. But this one actually is pretty neat because some of the new cards in the Premium Booster are designed around gaining levels in order to activate this boost and allow him to buff those cards. But yeah, definitely the anti-burn is going to be the main attraction of this particular card. In terms of the colors of this set does have only 3 colors, which are yellow, red, and blue. And the blue cards are mostly, if not all, pertaining to this character right here, Hecate. So Hecate is one of the supporting cast of characters. We have some other ones like Wilhelmina and Marjorie Daw that we'll look at later. But Hecate is going to be most of the blue cards in the set. This Hecate is an on-play heal, and on attack you can pitch 2 to burn 1. So this is just like an off-finisher effect. And for our first foil card, we have a Door Climax, Tenpa Josai. I don't actually remember which climaxes go to which one based on the name. But if we take a look here at the foiling, as I mentioned earlier, they are red border around like the soul symbols and around the text boxes and things like that. So pretty neat compared to the gold framing that we're used to, but at the same time, it doesn't really have any special like border around the sides like some of the other premium boosters. And so personally, I think it is a tad underwhelming, but it is very fitting with the theme of Shana being like a set based around fire. For those of you who don't know, the English translation of the name for Shakugan no Shana is the burning-eyed Shana, and some people on Twitter, on Japanese Twitter, were pretty surprised that Shana just has the exact same name in the English adaptation of the Weiss Schwarz set. It just says Shakugan no Shana still. Okay, on to our second pack. We have Marjorie Daw and Marcosius. So this is a free runner and also a bomb. This is a card that we've seen in Kaguya-sama. Just like some of the other premium boosters that we've seen in Weiss Schwarz, we are going to be seeing plenty of effects that we've already looked at elsewhere in other sets of Weiss Schwarz, and so this card is no exception. Okay, I never really figured out how to say this character's name, but I think it's like Shidonai, and this is basically just a level 2 beater. Oh, okay, all right. For our next foil, we have Helpless. So this is a 3,500 drop search, and all of your opponent's characters get Encore Pay 2. So Helpless is actually where the Japanese got their name for what we call drop searchers. Like, we call them drop searchers. Every time they have this type of effect, they just call it Helpless, because this was one of the first notable cards in Japanese to have the drop search effect. And the original version was just a 2,500 vanilla drop search, but in the premium booster, we get a 3,500 with a downside. This is a card that we've seen in Hololive on the Miko drop search from the Gen 0 trial deck. And so it's very, very powerful card in Hololive and very, very powerful here as well. All right. I don't think we pulled a single Shana character card yet, funnily enough. And just as I say that, we pull our first Shana character card. So this is a 1/0 with the on-play Rico effect. Discard a card, reveal the top card of your deck, and salvage a character of equal or lower level than the revealed card. Typically, we see this effect on level 0s in most set, and this set having it on a level 1 is a little bit awkward. Because level 1 characters, you have to have the specific color in order to play them. It can make it a little bit harder to use if you're playing a multicolor deck, but because red is one of the biggest focuses of the Shakugan no Shana set, this really shouldn't be too much of a problem. And yeah, it's just a pretty good card overall. Shana as a character, since we haven't really talked about the characters that much, Shana is one of the many tsundere roles of Rie Kugimiya. Some of you might be familiar with some of her other works in that tsundere genre, such as Louise from Zero no Tsukaima or Taiga from Toradora. A lot of roles where she just like assumes kind of the same behavioral patterns, and she just screams "Urusai, Urusai" a lot. And I think this was actually the first one of those roles where she really just took on that tsundere role. Okay, next card we have is the level 0 Shana. This is a Fukajiro. On death, ditch 1 to top 4 at a level 1 or higher. And she also has the additional effect of on death, you can pay 2 to salvage a character, which can include herself if you find yourself needing more level 0 attackers or more mill. This is a really strong pairing of abilities. You get to use that Fukajiro effect to go through the top 4, and then if you see like another card that you want to see in your hand, or you see like a level 0 that you want to get, you can use that pay 2 on death salvage in order to get that card as well. So really, really nice card. This was originally in Symphogear, in the most recent Symphogear set, and it was actually on the restriction list for Symphogear on the Japanese side. So I think that just kind of goes to show how strong of a profile this can be. For our third rare, we have the 3/2 Shana. This card is a carbon copy of the Coco level 3 combo from Hololive Volume 1, where when she reverses her battle opponent, you can pay the cost up to 5 times, which is pay 1, ditch 1. And each time you pay the cost plus 1, you get to like kind of Icy Tail 3 your opponent. What I think is really interesting is that in the original Hololive set, the Coco, her climax combo, when you use it, she gains the color red. And nobody really understood why she got red, but for Shana, she also gains the color red until the end of the turn, but it makes a lot more sense here because, as we can see between her civilian form and her Flame Haze form, she has black hair versus red hair. And so I think going red makes a lot more sense in this particular context. Now, one other thing to note about her in her like civilian form is that the traits actually change. Not in any meaningful way, but they do change. When she's in her fighting form, she has the weapon trait as her secondary trait alongside flame. And in her civilian form, she has melon bread because she is a lover of her melon pan, and we'll probably see a card or two later on where it shows up. All right, on to pack number 4. Okay, we have the level 1 Captured Shana. When this attacks, this can gain up to 4,000 power based on the number of other flame characters you have. We have the 3/2 early play heal Shana. This one requires you to have the Torch Yuji, as well as a Top Check 3 Brainstorm on your stage in order to early play her. And one of the main strategies for Shakugan no Shana, at least until the Dengeki booster comes out, is just using the Yuji anti-heal in order to stave off aggression and just playing many, many, many healers, including this one. So this one is probably going to be a pretty popular card to play. And for our Shana parallel, we have a 2/1 beater. So this one gains 1,000 during your turn for each of your other flame characters, allowing her to go up to 10k. And then she also gains 1,500 power each time your other flame character attacks. So if she attacks last, she can be 13,000 power, very, very high. And when she reverses a level 2 or higher battle opponent, you can put the top card of your deck into stock. This is a card that we have seen in the Fate series. I think it might have been in... Okay, this stand is not super stable right now. It is a card that we've seen in, I believe it was Fate Heaven's Feel. It was on a 2-1 rider that could be brought out from the waiting room off of a 2-1 Sakura. Unfortunately, there is no such 2-1 to bring it out in this deck, and you have to play it standalone. But still a pretty good card. Okay, next up we have another 3-2 Shana. This one's Shana and Yuji, and this is one of the many experience cards in Shana. Some of the experience lines that you're going to want to be hitting in this set are experience 2 at level 1 and experience 6 at level 2 for certain early plays. But this one is not an early play. This one just wants to be played down at level 3, and it is the same card as the 3-2 off finisher Itsuki from Quintessential Quintuplets Volume 3, where she is an 11k healer with on attack pay 3, ditch a character to burn 2. Pretty good off finisher option nonetheless. Here we have the climax that we saw earlier, and for our parallel we have another climax, the Power of Emotions. I think this is the one that goes with the level 1 combo. Not 100% sure. We'll find out as we pull more of the combos. And for the last pack of the first box, we have... Okay, so this is the same character that we saw in the very beginning, the Yuji, but this particular Yuji card comes from the final season of Shakugan no Shana, if I remember correctly. And there's a lot of plot points pertaining to why Yuji is a special torch compared to other torches that just fade away. And it's not something that I'll really get too into. You can definitely go and check out Shana yourself if you are interested in more of the lore. But yeah, basically there's like a reason behind why this particular Yuji has that snake trait. This blue character works with Konoe characters as well as flame characters, and I believe Konoe is the like civilian name of Hekate. So if we pull one later, then we'll be able to confirm that. Next up, we have the Shana Clean Cut. This is a clean cut profile that we've seen in many sets, such as Bang Dream 5th Anniversary or Chainsaw Man, where it's just a 3k during your turn clean cut. This is a very useful card in this particular set because one of the most powerful cards in the set is a level 0 combo that works from back row. And so you're going to want to be using the clean cut in order to save that card in your back row and reuse it turn after turn. For our last parallel of the box, we have the 2-1 Shirone that we pulled earlier, but this is the foil version. Let's go ahead and pull out the non-foil real quick for comparison. Here we go. Very different art, but looks very cool. Okay, with our first box done, let's get into our second box next. Okay, on to box number 2. So a lot of the really powerful cards from the Premium Booster we have not been able to pull quite yet. Let's go ahead and get these packs out of frame. Okay, so on to box number 2. A lot of the really powerful cards in the Shana Premium Booster we have not been able to pull quite yet, such as the level 0 Climax combo that I alluded to earlier. That, in my opinion, is one of the most egregious cards in the set, just given the power level of level 0 combos in current Weiss Schwarz. They just tend to be extremely powerful. But here we have this is a 2 Soul Climax combo, actually. Kind of reminiscent of the one from Arti Fureta. So when this card's damage is cancelled, you can put this card into stock rather than hand. And actually, is that what that card did? I thought it went to hand as well, like the Arti Fureta one. I'm going to double check real quick. Okay, I did go back and check, and this card does indeed go to stock. And the Climax combo, up to once per turn when damage dealt by this card is cancelled, and you have the +2 soul in the Climax area and another flame character, you can look at up to 2 cards on top of your deck Choose up to 2 flame characters or events from among them, add them to hand, and put the rest into waiting room. So potentially allows you to get a +2 in hand and +1 stock out of a single combo, copy of the combo, but it does require your opponent canceling. And being on +2 soul, you do have a higher chance of that happening, but I'm personally not a really big fan of +2 soul combos, because if your opponent does eat all the damage, then you just don't have any hand to work with for the rest of the game, and it's kind of awkward. Okay, next up we have our first Wilhelmina card. She is a 2/1, 3/5 backup. There are a couple other Wilhelmina cards that got repurposed. What's the right word? Retrained within this set. I think this one is one of them as well. Okay, and for our level 0 for this particular pack, we have the Riki, a very, very powerful card, and it's definitely going to be a staple in your Shana decks. She has that Riki effect. On play, pay 1, clock the top card of your deck, and search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. And she also has the experience effect on attack. If you have experience 2 or more, you can choose one of your characters and give it +1000 power until the end of the turn. I believe the first time this effect was printed was in Fate Prisma Ilia. It was on one of the Kuro cards, if I remember correctly. But nevertheless, a very, very powerful card for Shana to be getting in the Premium Booster, and definitely one that you're going to want to be using to search out your level 0 Climax combo, or maybe your Torch Yuji level 1 if you don't already have it with that anti-burn effect. Okay, here we have a Choice Climax. I'm not sure if this one goes with the level 3 combo. Nope, this is not the level 3 combo. Level 3 combo is a different Choice Climax. This is the one with the level 0 combo, I think. So if we pull the level 0 combo in a bit, we'll go ahead and check on that. Here we have a Hecate Climax, Direct Confrontation. This one works with her level 3. And for our foil, we have the foil version of the 2 soul combo. For pack number 3, we have Kazumi Yoshida. Personally, not my favorite character from the show, but Kazumi is a kind of interesting in Shakugan no Shana. She's like the human friend character. And as a result, she does not have that flame trait that allows her to be used with most of the cards in the set. And she's kind of that character where she's like kind of a doormat, and she like has a crush on the main character, but she can't come up with the courage to say anything. And it's not the traits that I'm the most fond of in my anime girls, so that's why kind of part of the reason I'm not a really big fan of her. But in terms of her card in the Premium Booster, this one is just a 3k Memory Kick backup, and it can be a little bit hard to use, as I mentioned earlier, not having that flame trait, and instead just having love trait only. Okay, here we have Konoe. So yeah, this is the human form of Hecate. Maybe this isn't the best card to take a look. This one's probably better. So we can see the comparison between the two. And so this particular Konoe card is actually a changer. So when she's placed on stage from hand, you can choose a flame character or a Konoe and give it 1500 power, and she changes into Time of Confrontation Hecate from your waiting room, which is another level 1. Actually, I think that climax that we pulled a second ago might be with a level 1. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to be completely honest. I did not pay too much attention to the blue cards because I think the yellow and the red cards are just in isolation, just very strong without needing very much blue. Speaking of blue, here we have the Hecate level 0. This is a front 500, and when your other character is put into the waiting room from stage and this card is in your back row, you can sack this to bring that character back rested. So this is basically the same card as the level 0 that we saw in the Ruby Premium Booster that Mike used in his 8 gold bar list in order to keep his Ozpins alive. I don't feel like there are any cards in Shana that are super worth using this card in order to keep around for multiple turns in a row. So I think my back row slots, I would rather just put the level 0 Climax combo and like a Brainstorm. And then in the late game, you just put your 1/1 Yuji alongside your Brainstorm and you play early plays. Okay, here we have a Door Climax. We have the level 3 Shana. This is the one that goes with that very first Door Climax that we saw. So this card only has one effect, which is at the end of this card's attack, climax combo, you can pay 2 to either restand herself, or you can salvage 3 and then free fresh. And so this is a card that we have seen previously in Weiss Schwarz from Rent a Girlfriend on a level 3 Ruka, I believe it's Ruka. And the interesting thing is that when they first revealed this in the Premium Booster reveals, I figured that it was going to get a level 3 that changes into it, just like the level 3 Ruka had in Rent a Girlfriend, but unfortunately it did not. And so this card basically just has only this one effect, no on-playability, and no changer in order to give it like a pseudo on-playability. So it was a little bit of a disappointment, but still definitely a playable card, being able to use this as a restander for only 2 stock. It basically equates to like a 1 stock finisher, because the restand is going to give you additional stock as you continue attacking. So not the worst card, and you can always end your attacking turn with that free fresh and salvage 3 if you find that you're not going to be able to kill your opponent with the last restand. And for our foil, we have To the New World, very, very cute door climax. And we are on our fifth pack of the box. We still have not pulled the level 0 combo. We have the level 0 Hecate. This is the spammable Brainstorm, Shana. For each climax you hit on your spammable Brainstorm, you can salvage a flame character and discard a card, and you can rest this to give a character 1,000. I'm pretty sure this is the same as the Kaguya spammable Brainstorm that was a box topper promo in set 1 and a reprint rare in set 2. And for our foil, we have the 3/2 early play that we looked at earlier. I think that the red border actually looks quite good on the non-red cards. I think that on the red cards, it's a little bit redundant, but I think that it goes quite well with like the yellow and blue on the other cards. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. And for our final pack of the first box, we have the level 3 Shana. This is the Coco finisher. We have Wilhelmina. So originally, this card was a 1/0 6K hand encore in the original. I think this card came from the extra booster. But yeah, it was a 6K hand encore. This particular Wilhelmina is instead a level 2 killer. So when she's placed on stage from hand, you can rest one of your other flame characters to level swap, and then give a character +1 level until end of turn. And then she has experience 2 or more. You get plus 2k during your turn, and level 2 killer plus 6k against level 2s. This particular effect that level swaps and gives a level can be quite useful for allowing a character to reach level 2 in order to utilize the boost from the 1/1 Yuji. So this is one of the cards that synergizes with it, and also allows you to, you know, just fix your level zone and get those experience requirements. And for our foil, we have the Fukajiro Shana. Very nice. Not the most exciting foil pattern on this card in particular. I haven't been taking a look at too many of the foil patterns, but I do enjoy the diagonal lines on this one. This one, kind of just like a grainy texture. Okay, and that is going to do it for our second box. So let's go ahead and crack on into our third. Okay, time for our third and final box. We have not hit any SPs in our first two, and it's not the greatest chance. It's approximately 1 in every 10 of these displays, so not a super high chance, but hopefully we can pull something out of this third and final box. All right, for our first pack, we have the 1/1 Shana. This is a 1/1 hand encore, and she gains X power every time one of your other flame characters attacks, where X equals the number of your other flame characters times 500. This is basically Glinda from Ruby. Here we have the level 0 climax combo that we have been waiting for this entire time. So this card has a choice climax combo that says at the start of Encore step, and if you have the choice climax in play and you have 2 or more other characters, you get to top check 4 and add a flame character from among them and send the rest to waiting room. This is a really, really strong card as it gives you extra advantage. It works from back row and it gives you modular mill. after you've already declared your attacks. So if you don't declare, or if you don't see any climaxes within your triggers and you know you still have climaxes left in your deck, you can choose to just mill like one card at a time and just try to leave the climaxes in your deck. Really, really strong card. But this card's first effect is what makes it really stand out in my opinion. Her continuous effect, she gets +1 level and +2,000 power for every flame character you have in your level, allowing her to grow stronger as a character throughout the game. It allows her to stay relevant as an attacker. So she can go up to 4K level 1 once you're at level 1, 6K level 2 once you're at level 2, and what I think is really, really cool is that once she does hit level 2, she is gaining the buff from the Torch Yuji that gives 1K to level 2 and higher characters in front of him. So she will be a 7K if you play her from level 2 onwards in front of a Yuji. Really, really nice card. I'm a really big fan of this particular card. Just being able to spam a bunch of copies over the turns with your choice climaxes. And for our foil, we have the Torch Yuji. Very nice. Take a quick look at that foil pattern. It's just kind of like another hazy, grainy foil pattern on this one. I would really like to pull the foil version of the Shana level 0 combo because it does have an alternate art. It looks really nice. Next we have a level 0 Shana. This is a Shimakai, buffing another character based on the number of characters you have. And on play, you can give a character on the opponent's stage the inability to move until the end of the opponent's next turn. We have the non-foil version of the Feeless Drop Search. And for okay, that's yeah, the foil versions of the cards in this set have some a bit more risque artwork. And so here we have the level 0 Shana. This is a global 500, and you can rest her in order to give one of your characters a stock kick effect. This is one that we've seen in other sets all over the place. I think to 7 Deadly Sins has the clock version. I'm trying to think of a set that has the stock version off the top of my head, but I can't think of one immediately. It's a nice tech card if you're in a metagame where your opponent's decks have a lot of on-death abilities, but at the same time, as I was saying earlier, I think I would rather just put more climax combos in those back row slots in order to keep using them turn after turn. Here we have a level 0 climax combo, global 500, and then when you play the climax and you have 2 or more other characters, you can summon a level 0 from your waiting room. I do think that if you just want to have a level 0 combo, I would rather just continue running this one, but this is definitely an option if you just want to spam a bunch of level 0 attackers from your waiting room. This one in particular also has some decent synergy with the Clean Cut, as you can summon the Clean Cut out of the waiting room with the combo and then use the Clean Cut to move this to your back row and save it for another turn. The most problematic part about this card, though, in my opinion, is that you need 2 or more other flame characters in order to use it, so it can be a little bit hard to use in the early stages of the game. Here we have the door climax that goes with that level 0 to the new world. And for our foil, here's a character that we have not seen yet. Oh god, I can never remember how to pronounce this guy's name. It's like Kamshin. I don't remember, but he's like a very interesting character. He has one of the most memorable cards, I would say, from the original Shana sets, where it was a Revenge 1500 1/1. If I remember correctly, and it had some other effect. But that was the Revenge 1500 was the one that I most remember about the particular cards of this character. This one from the Premium Booster is just a 4K. You cannot play events or backups from your hand. So if you're looking for a 4K beater, definitely look into trying out this card. I don't think we've even pulled an event from this Premium Booster yet. I think the only one in this one is the Alistor event reprint, which was a 2/1 event. Someone correct me if I am wrong. For our non-foil, we have the level 0 Shana Riki. So this is the non-foil version. Let's go ahead and compare it with the foil that we pulled earlier. Where is it? Right here. So funny story about this particular Shana. So the original version of the Shana was just a assist front 500, and you could rest her in order to give one of your characters 500 power until end of turn. And it was actually a double rare in the original Shakugan no Shana, so definitely not a remotely double rare effect by modern standards, but again, this was a 2011 card. and they have reprinted it in this premium booster into a very, 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 very playable card by 2024 standards, having that Ricky effect. And so this is definitely a card that we are very happy to pull 2 copies of, and we also got one of each version. Okay, here is the event, the 2-1. Okay, so the original version of this event was an Alistar event, but this one has been reprinted with a different name. But the effect still remains the same. Search your deck for up to 2 flame characters, add them to your hand and discard a card, and then put this into memory. And so this is an event that you could run as a yellow experience target, since you may want to be continuing to play your choice climaxes at level 1, and you might want yellow experience for some of your level 1 experience cards. But upcoming in the Dengeki Booster trial deck is a 2-0 yellow event for Shana that a lot of Japanese players have started to run instead. That particular event is the same as the Change the World event from Bang Dream, if you guys are familiar with that card from the Reza Suilen trial deck. I'll go ahead and just have that interposed on the screen so you guys can just compare the cards. But yeah, so definitely look out for that card when Dengeki Bunko eventually comes out. And for our foil, we have the Marjorie Daw level 0 bomb runner that we saw earlier. All right, we got 2 packs left, guys. Can we pull something good out of these 2 packs? Please, can we pull an SP? I haven't pulled an SP in a bit on the channel. Let's go. All right, second last pack, we have the 2-1 Hecate. This one has the flexibility of being either an Adachi or a... Well, I guess not an Adachi. I think people use Adachi as a term to describe a 1-1 that has an anti-change bomb effect. This one is a level 2. But anyways, you have the ability to choose between gaining 6k against level 3 or higher characters, or you can become an anti-change bottom deck bomb. So it's pretty nice flexibility. But the main issue with this card is that it is blue, and you will have to try to find some blue in order to fit that card in your deck. Here we have unrivaled love for melon bread Shana. As I was saying earlier, she does love that melon pun. And this is one of the few red cards that has the melon pawn trait, as most of them have just flame and weapon trait. And this card is an on-play discard, or on-play clock 1 card from hand in order to look at top X and add a card from among them to your hand, where X is the number of other flame characters you have. And when your opponent plays a climax, you can put this card into stock. Very nice, just like 1 or maybe 2 of utility card, and being able to clock a card from your hand does allow you to potentially fix some experience requirements that you might need later on in the game. And for our rare, we have the 1-1 Hand Encore Shana. All right, final pack, guys. Can we get an SP out of our final pack? Let's go. Final pack of the final box. Okay, for our first card, we have 3-2 Wilhelmina. I think in the original Shakugan no Shana, this was a 0-0 reverser, and then I think her other effect was you can pay 1 to pop a front row level 0 on your opponent's stage. This one is a level 3, and she has the Fumio effect on play. When you on play, you can rest one of your characters in order to force your opponent to shuffle back all cards from their waiting room except for 1 climax of their choosing. The other 2 effects pertain to like power levels, but they aren't really as important. You mainly care about playing this card for that middle effect, and this is a pretty much a staple 1 of in order to prevent your opponent from having really strong deck states for canceling. And then we have another level 3, the Marjorie Daw level 3. This one is an on-play pay 1 to salvage a climax. And then she has a couple other effects. She has hexproof and then a power effect. But you mostly would play her in order to use that climax salvage. For the build that we're going to be showcasing on the channel coming up, this is not going to be a card that we're really going to be looking to run, as we're going to be running a level 0 and a level 1 combo. We just kind of want to play aggressively throughout the early game and then play a lot of healers and not really care too much about having climaxes in our hand. But if you want to run one of those level 3 combos, this is a card that you could definitely consider running in order to just make sure that you have the climax that you need to get the job done. Notably, we haven't pulled the climax swap out of any of these 3 boxes, but there is a climax swap in this set, and it is a card that you're going to probably want to be running in your decks at like 1 copy or so. I think for the upcoming profile, we do run 1 copy, although I have seen some Japanese players not run any in their decks just because they just kind of draw whatever climax and then they just slam it, and they're going to be doing a level 1 or level 0 climax combo anyway. All right, here we go for our final card. SP, please. SP, please. No, we have the level 1 Wilhelmina level 2 killer that we saw earlier in the foil version. Wilhelmina is a character that uses bandages to attack. As you can see, they're kind of like slashing across the image on this card. And I think it's really nice that the foil pattern on this particular card, it does a really good job of highlighting these bandages in her attacks. And so that is going to, unfortunately, be it for our premium booster opening. Let's get one last look at some of these beautiful cards and go ahead and take a look at some of the more intricate foil patterns from these cards. Some of them are a little bit hard to make out, but I think one particularly notable one from the ones that we saw was the Hecate level 0. It had like a kind of like a pinwheel pattern. Okay. Level 0 Shana. Here we have the Yuji. This is probably going to be, or not probably, this definitely is the most impactful card for Shana, and is basically the reason that you would want to play Shana in a competitive environment. You just have to watch out to make sure that if you want to take this to like your locals, you need to make sure that a lot of people aren't playing like restand based endgames, because obviously this is not going to do anything to that. But most of the finishers that people are running right now are things that do a lot of burn damage. Things like Aki in Chainsaw Man and Gura in Hololive, although those ones, both of those are getting hit on the upcoming restriction list, but still a lot of burn-based endgames are the ones that you will typically see in your games. This one does not have a whole lot of foil pattern, just because it's kind of just the background here in the bottom left. Here we have our Fuka, level 3 Shana, level 3 Shana combo. Another card that you can't really see too much of the back row, but it does kind of have like a fish scales kind of foil pattern. Fearless level 0. Very, very strong card. This one's very interesting. And where's that Hecate level 0? Here we go. This one has kind of a pinwheel pattern. Very, very nice. It's very fitting for like a summer festival yukata kind of vibe, wouldn't you say? And I think that's basically all the cards that we've seen. Yeah, this is just the last one. Oh, actually, this one has a pretty neat foil pattern as well. Kind of like a mini circles pinwheel pattern sort of thing going on here. Okay, that is going to do it for our premium booster opening. And then one last thing before I forget, because I did forget, but you guys don't need to know that. We do have the 7 SPs from the set. So we have 2 Shana SPs. So let's go ahead and take a look at each of these one by one. So we have the level 0 Shana Fukujiro, and we have the level 3 off finisher. So this is a pretty popular card in the lists that run the double combo, like the one that we are going to be profiling, because this one just doesn't require a climax combo. Here we have the Hecate level 1 combo. So I guess this was the combo that I was thinking of earlier, not a level 3. Although I'm pretty sure she does have a level 3 combo in this set as well. So I'll go ahead and double check on that. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, I think the red looks really good on the blue in comparison to the red on red. I believe Hecate is voiced by Ayako Kawasumi, if I remember correctly. Actually, no, that might have been Cosme. I'm not 100% sure. I know Ayako Kawasumi is in here somewhere. Here we have the Torch Yuji 1-1. The Wilhelmina. So we have the last 3 are some of the other side characters. So Wilhelmina, Marjorie Daw, and Kazumi. So here we have the level 3 Fumio, the level 2 Memory Kick counter. I'm pretty sure this was the only card that Kazumi had in the set. And then for our last SP, we have the Marjorie Daw and Marcosius level 0. So those are going to be our SPs. Probably the ones that are going to be most sought after are going to be these two, the level 1 Yuji for just that competitive playability, and then also the Shana Fukujiro, another very, very playable card. And then probably the level 3 as well. The level 3 notably has a different signature from the level 0. I'm pretty sure this one is by the mangaka, or the light novel illustrator, sorry, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll go ahead and check on that and let you guys know. on screen. But yeah, so these are going to be the 7 SPs for Shakugan no Shana. We're going to have just like a close-up reel of these so you guys can take a look at them one by one at the end of the video. And yeah, so now we're actually done. And until next time, guys, this has been Randall, aka Shizakats on the Tressa Collectibles channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!